This engine looks a lot like you. Got dropped on its head.
I thought it was you that got dropped on your head.
What am I looking at here?
Mom still feels real bad about that.
What am I looking at here?
You are looking at a 348 Chevrolet.
Is that something special to somebody, or?
Well, they came out with this engine the same year I was born, so yeah, it's special.
Okay. Honestly, we have no history of this engine.
No history at all. I don't think the customer has a lot of history.
But on top of being a 348, this is a tri-power 348.
Right.
So explain that for somebody who has zero knowledge of what any of...
Okay, well, some engines just have a 2-barrel intake manifold, meaning 2 openings with what they call 2-barrel carburetor that feeds all 8 cylinders.
Okay.
Some engines have a 4-barrel, and that can be for a square bore that all 4 are the same, or a spread bore where the primaries are small and the secondaries are larger diameter. But what makes this special is what they call a tri-power. It has 3 2-barrel manifolds, and when these are set up correctly, for normal driving, the engine runs off the center 2-barrel manifold for gas mileage. It makes them for economy. And then when you want to pass somebody, you open this thing up and the linkage opens up all 3 carburetors and feeds the engine out of 6 barrels.
When this initially came in, you were skeptical that this was a true 348 tri-power.
I was very skeptical because I have seen too many 348s that were nothing more than a 348 truck engine, nothing special at all. And then I figured somebody had found this 3.2 manifold on a swap meet and bolted it on this engine. I mean, you can see it has some fresh bolts in here on these hangers. Those hangers are not original. So I just, in the back of my mind, I thought, yeah, we got an old 348 truck motor with a fancy intake on it.
So the casting number here on the intake, just going off the date itself, L1958. So this manifold was cast December 19th, 1958.
Right.
Then we go to the block. The block was cast L2 of 58. That's close enough together on the casting date that initial assumption is it looks like that manifold could have definitely
come with this block, or somebody worked hard at finding a manifold that had similar casting date to the block, one or the other.
Let's pop at least this valve cover off. We'll assume that both heads are the same.
At this point anyway?
Yeah, since this one's easy to get off. L12 of 58, so December 12th, 1958. At least all 3 of these items were cast in December of 1958. So that would probably indicate a 1959 model car.
Yeah.
Or vehicle.
Yeah, if this was cast in December of 58, it wouldn't have come out till early 1959. So 1959 model vehicle of some kind. You do realize the dirt on here is new dirt.
New dirt.
This is back when dirt was new.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I get where you're going.
Yeah.
So our casting number on the block, 3755011.
Yes.
That would have been anywhere from a 1958 to a 1961 348 in a passenger car. So it does.
Okay, so that's a plus.
Car. And I guess we should preface in the video to take everything we're saying with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily factual, but this is the information we can find.
We're just depending on things we find on the internet. And sometimes when we find something that doesn't look quite right, we do a little more research and either figure out that, yeah, we can back it up, or no, it really is bogus information.
Only one of these options is 1959. So if I look at the notes on that one, second design released for the 1959 model year, redesigned to provide water cooling to the new cylinder heads. So we'll talk about that when I get to the head here in a bit. On the intake manifold, it kind of lists everything from 58 through 61. Originally designed to be made from aluminum, but Chevy switched to cast iron before production.
I wonder why they originally thought it'd be aluminum and then changed to cast iron.
I don't know. Maybe somebody will. The casting number on the heads says it would be anything from, so this eliminates 1958. It goes to 59 to 61 for these heads. It says this cylinder head is the second design. Major design differences from the first design. water cooling passages have been added around the spark plugs.
Okay. Okay, well, we'll have to remember and look for
Look a little
that
closer at
when
that
we
when
get
we
the
get
heads off here.
Then we get over here to the suffix code, and we have T1216HA. So it was assembled in Tonawanda at the Tonawanda plant, December 16th. So does that align with the casting numbers?
Everything except the intake, because we've got December the 2nd, December the 12th, December the 19th.
So that's questionable. Now, are you going to sing the 409 song for us?
Giddy up. Is that the right one? Giddy up, giddy up.
I don't know. I don't know the song. Probably a lot of 348s got tossed out to replace with the 409. HA should indicate, again, doesn't help us much, 58 to 61 passenger car, rated at 280 horsepower with 3 2-barrels and a turbo glide. The assumption is that this is the lower horsepower engine, because there were higher horsepower versions of the 348 that had a solid flat tappet cam. Based on that, I'm assuming that's a...
Yeah, this feels like there's a hydraulic lifter behind that.
So if this is a hydraulic lifter, that would align with it being a 280 horse 348. I guess maybe we should start tearing it down. Well, show the main problem here.
Okay, well, right off the bat, this engine is locked up. I would literally bust something here. Oh, look at that. I did break it loose.
Wow.
Hey.
Okay, so we probably have some rust in the cylinder. That's actually a good sign that you just broke it loose.
Yeah.
Because...
I can't believe that, because, you know, it feels pretty good.
Does it?
What was that noise? A valve popped shut?
I'm going to say something.
Let's turn it in the direction of rotation. Now, the true test is, will this turn 2 full revolutions without...
Let's put a mark somewhere.
Yeah, we got to mark that or we won't be able to tell. Okay, let's just put a mark right here.
So if this turns, we should just throw it on the dyno.
We should. We're going to do that someday with some engine, but we're not going to do that to this one. No. So 2 full revolutions will be the test. It actually has compression or something. No, there's something in there. I'm going to say rust.
Okay.
The way it either rust or a mouse nest, but I'm going to say just rust the way it feels. But you can hear the compression. Well, I guess that's actually compression leaking by.
That's not how that works, but what was that?
Must have been an air valve popped shut. There it went over center. Another valve popped shut. Well, there's one revolution.
I'd put it in the engine or in the car.
There was 2 revolutions.
So we probably just have at least one cylinder with rust.
Yeah.
Which is still not good, because these are not the easiest to sleeve.
No. You guys are in for a real surprise when we take that head off and you see what the top of that piston and cylinder and combustion chamber looks like.
So we're really not entirely sure what the customer wants to be done with this. I think it'll depend on what we find to an extent. When he dropped it off, he did mention aluminum heads.
Motors.
Some of those are awfully loose.
This motor, you build this motor for the cool factor. You don't build this because of the amount of horsepower it's going to make. If you want all kinds of horsepower, go put your LS motor in this thing, in whatever you're doing, for a whole lot less money. What I was noticing on this, though, is the The shape of the intake along the side of the head here and the number of bolts and their spacing, that looks a lot like the newer 454 engines, big block engines. There's some things that carry through from one engine to another. We've got rocker arms that look like small block Chevy. I don't know if they're the same rocker or not. They've got the oil shields under the retainer like a small block uses. Looking at the head bolts here, this has 18 head bolts. Doesn't the small block have 17?
17.
So somehow they've changed the spacing here a little bit and given this one more head bolt.
Ready?
I guess ready.
Camera see?
Get the camera so they can see that as this thing is opened up for the first time in who knows how long. Okay, look on the bottom. There's that. Man, that has
That's a huge shield.
Yeah, huge
Oops,
shield.
make a mess. Holy cow, that's a lot of rust in there.
Where is the gasket? Somebody's been in here.
There's a gasket on this side.
Not on the other side.
So somebody has been in here.
Yeah. Oh, look down on the cam. Why is there all kinds of,
Really?
looks like black moly assembly lube on the camshaft?
Kind of suspicious.
Yeah, something suspicious here. Why are there metal filings like somebody drilled a broken bolt or something? Look at that.
Get your finger out of the way so the camera can see. Please.
And a dead fly.
I've been told I need to be nicer.
So yeah, somebody's had this off. Gasket was totally missing on that side.
I wonder what they would have drilled out.
Oh,
These?
2 brand new studs. They must have had those broken and they drilled them out and let all their filings go down inside the...
Roll that over a little bit and show that heat shield that we mentioned in the...
So yeah, that's a huge heat shield.
Because a lot of times it's just over the crossover areas.
The opening back there, this probably would have had a road draft tube on it. I'm guessing that's also an oil separator to keep it from drawing oil mist out of the engine.
To clean this, we'll have to pull that off.
We'll have to pull all those rivets out.
Because it's amazing how
much stuff is underneath.
you're not getting it clean if you don't take those.
Well, that's it.
off.
It looks clean. You know,
Let alone what
this isn't that dirty on this side.
Yeah.
You know,
But
there's some rust, and that's the point. It'll come back looking clean, but you pull this baffle off, and there'll just be years and years of junk up under there.
But yeah, those are
definitely hydraulics. Yeah. Yeah, we've got one real bent push rod here.
Huh. So whether it was like that before or after we turned the engine, who knows?
Yeah, I don't think we did that turning it, but you never know. See, that rocker is adjusted down so much further than some of the others. We've got 3 of them here. We have a lot more studs showing than the others. I wonder if the cam is partially flat, lifter worn away, and somebody tried to adjust the valves and make the noise go away. Over on this side we've got, well, here, look, they put double nuts here instead of a original nut. This one's adjusted down extra tight. You know, a lot of times when we tear engines down, we just kind of rip the things apart and not really pay much attention. But if a guy does pay some attention to this, you can learn a lot about what happened to that engine over the years.
And sometimes you can learn a lot about who worked on it. You know, rewatching the 327 teardown from a few years ago last night, that was one that you can learn a lot about who worked on it.
Who worked on it, yeah. These are not tore up in the bottom, but they certainly have some wear on them. I'm not going to worry about keeping anything in order. So
L1158. So that's still
1 day apart.
Oh, that's
so
pulled out.
Just like the newer big blocks, 2 different length push rods. You know, the intake port side here is larger, but it looks a lot like a small block Chevy, other than they've added a bolt hole right above the split between the two ports. What do you see?
Doesn't that look brand new?
Yeah, it does. Somebody put brand new spark plugs in it. No, these aren't new. I'll bet somebody tried to get this thing started.
Take the heads off?
I think so.
Get the real surprise coming?
Yeah.
For people who have zero knowledge of this engine, there will be a lot of people watching this who know way more about this engine than we do.
Right.
But then there will be people that it's just, I know we have people who watch us that honestly know nothing about engines.
We get comments from people that say we don't know anything about engines, but it's just interesting to watch
you do this.
You know, they'll say something about I'm a brain surgeon or whatever.
Yeah.
I work all day long.
Rocket scientist.
I work all day long as a rocket scientist, but I just find it really interesting to look at how an engine is done. That ain't good.
That make a big difference?
Yes. They're just really dry, not really rusted, just completely dry.
I'll break it.
We had a customer a while back on a big DT 466 International that stuck a bar in a port like this and pried on it and broke a hole through in the port like that. There.
There you go.
When we pull these heads off, we may see somewhere that no one has seen in almost all the years I have been on this planet.
Yeah.
I'd have been 6 months old when this was made.
Okay, everybody, I know we're just getting to the good part in the video, but I wanted to let you guys know how much me and my dad, the cleaning guy, appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to watch our content. It does actually take a lot of extra time to create these videos when we're working there and trying to set up a camera and be able to show you guys what we do here in our machine shop. And if you guys want to be able to help support us, there's a lot of free ways that you can do that. Like the video, drop a comment if you're interested, be sure that you're subscribed, and maybe even send this video to a friend who you know might find it interesting. The cleaning guy's birthday is coming up on the 17th, so it'd be awesome to see a ton of happy birthday comments. And the other thing that also might make him super happy, that actually does cost a little bit of money, is if you guys would head over to the link in the description, head over to Bunker Branding and check out some of our merch. There's a few different options of t-shirts, including a brand new Chevy W-Series t-shirt exclusive for this project. I think he'd love to see some sales on it after this video. So like I said, drop a comment. That's free to do. And if you have the spare change, feel free to go out and check out our t-shirts. Now let's get back to the video.
Okay, what are you gonna do with your head when you take it off?
I'm gonna put it right here probably.
Okay, me too. 1, 2, 3. It won't come off.
God!
Ah.
There you go.
Oh, that's nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty.
Bad news.
I can't believe that turned.
Bad news.
I wouldn't be picking up a turd like that if I saw one.
Is this a factory gasket?
That's a steel shim gasket. That could very well be original.
How would you tell on a... No number or anything?
Those head gaskets are about 19 thousandths thick. That is thin. Your side looks better than mine.
Yeah, but it's still... My side is carbon. Your side is rust. So driver's side bank looks like you would expect an engine of this age to look. I mean, there's carbon
That's
washed, but
Yeah.
it's
This-
you just don't. I guess maybe we should just address the elephant in the room. The deck is at an odd angle, and the combustion chamber is made up mostly in the cylinder, in
Right.
the block, as opposed to in the cylinder head.
Yeah, the head gasket is not perpendicular, or the deck surface is not perpendicular to the center line of the cylinder. So this gasket has a number on it. It is a M96487, I believe. I wonder if that's a McCord brand gasket. Wasn't that a gasket brand back in the day?
Porsche 911. I don't think that's right.
Ah, boy. Okay, this piston here has a TRW number on it.
Uh-oh.
Standard.
God, that's a mess.
Yeah,
That is weird.
I cannot believe this thing turns.
Why does it like look gooey as opposed to dry? Do you know what I'm saying?
Look at this one here that we're getting ready to look at on the numbers. There's no carbon on it. I'm going to say this cylinder probably was really burning oil. And look at the head. It's just washed clean with lots of carbon on the exhaust valve.
Yeah.
You know, I have heard that if you'll pour Coca-Cola down inside a cylinder, it'll eat.
That's almost what it looks like, is like somebody poured Coke or something.
Well, yeah, look up here how shiny that is. It looks like sugar on that.
Well, I'm just...
It's gooey and sticky.
It doesn't look like a rusty cylinder
No,
looks all the time. It
And-
looks... That's just weird. But it's hard.
it makes me want to taste it and see if it's sweet. But
But you give me crap for smelling. Give it a whiff. But it doesn't look like carbon.
no.
But it's like it was rusty, and then somebody tried to make it not rusty
Yeah.
and did that to it.
You can see on the head, the carbon is all washed out on it, with the exception of on the exhaust valve burned onto it. And then we've got two more cylinders here that actually look pretty good, other than lots of carbon. Then we've got this funny cylinder. Well, it probably has a carbon in it, but it's gooey.
Yeah.
And then this side over here, yeah, all four cylinders look washed. There's a little bit of ridge at the top of the cylinders, not excessive. Where do you want to go now?
Should we take the pan off and start?
Do we know if this has any oil in it?
I have no idea if it has oil in it.
Oh, there you go. Okay, be ready. Okay, we got water.
Did you put the water in there?
No, I didn't put the water in there.
It would have been funny if it fizzed like Coca-Cola. Now there's no...
Yeah, the tip up here. There's definitely water in it. Not much.
Not much oil and not much water. Oh, it's just...
Is it plugged up?
Yeah, it's just gooed up. It's just so thick that it won't...
Ready?
When I was your employee, if I was doing this, you'd be, hey, you look like a monkey in a football. With the one more word in there. But now that I'm running the show, you're over here.
There are times it's okay to play football with the monkeys.
I guess you pop them off and I'll hold the pan.
Okay. You think these recently been off?
Could be. But at the same time, they had my side had some that were just coated in grease.
The last one. It's been off.
Excuse me.
Uh-oh. Are there supposed to be parts in the bottom? It's part of a piston. Is that the side of a piston? Would the wrist pin have been like here?
Kind of looks that way.
It's been wedged in between something.
Put your finger in there and
Well, it's dark in there.
say there's no light. I was just trying to tell if there were more pieces there. Or... Okay, so we may find some carnage.
Yeah, this is not looking good.
Okay. There is at least one more piece of piston in there. What the hell is that? The rest of the skirt?
Man, that is a big piece.
Wow. What the? Oh, there's part of a ring. These don't have a lower oil ring, do they?
No.
Okay, something's not making sense, though.
Yeah, something is really not making sense. Could we possibly have that much carnage on the bottom and not see it on the top? I mean, that.
Dude, look.
Yeah, there's the rings.
That's why I asked if there could be a lower.
Because they have a piston, looks just like any modern day piston.
Well, it did, but
there is so much. It's like the whole bottom end of a piston is in here.
I just keep finding more and more.
That almost looks like that's been in there.
We haven't really looked at the rest of these pistons.
Is that why this one looks like it does?
This is a different piston. Look, all of these have a pip
Okay.
on the front of the piston, and
So-
that piston is different. So somebody blew up a piston.
Blew up a piston, put one brand new piston in it, and that's why that one's clean,
Yeah,
and never cleaned the old one out of the pan?
left the old one in the oil pan.
Holy smokes.
Or, I don't know, we might, I mean, all we have to do right now is flip it over and we'd be able to see the bottom of the pistons. That's kind of hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
But it makes me real nervous about...
But this looks like a TRW forged piston material.
Does it?
Yes. Yeah, like the extruded stuff. But look where it's wedged. That's marks from the crankshaft where it went around it.
Huh. Well, I don't know what to think other than I know that piston is different. It just adds a little context potentially, but we'll see if that context gets muddier when we...
Because, yeah, all of these other pistons have that option, don't they?
I like doing teardowns when you find cool stuff. Makes it a little more entertaining.
Yeah.
There is no skirt on this piston over here, which is the one that...
Which is the brand new one. Why? You know, this is turning into the 327 all over again because it had
A broken skirt.
a missing skirt.
Would there be a casting number on the crank at all?
Yes.
That I could look up?
Yes.
Can you find it for me? Please?
You know, people make comments about you not respecting me,
Yeah.
like just there where you said please. For me in the shop, the please just kind of goes without saying.
Yeah.
We don't worry about. Well, I was kind of thinking the casting number, if it has one, might be on one of these counterweight throws. Potential spam again. They call me all the time. Remember when we first started and we kind of forced this thing over to make it turn?
Yeah.
Maybe we broke the piston then.
It was pretty deep in the sludge, so I don't think so, but That'd be funny. Pretty sure what you were feeling when you turned it over is all the rust on
that lump of stuff on that one cylinder. I'm not seeing. There may very well be a casting number there, but there's enough buildup on there that I'm not seeing it.
I don't know. I don't know what to think of that.
But that's been run for a while.
It looks that way, huh?
Yeah, because look, it has the same varnish buildup on it, just like all the others.
There was mention of maybe stroking this too,
Yeah.
but let's still be careful with the crank.
Oh yeah.
There's bolt boots over there in the...
Well, we're going to put that out in there.
We may have a little bit of a hard time getting these out because I think I felt maybe some ridge plus used bearing. There's one good scratch in that, but other than that, it's not.
Crank actually looks pretty nice. At this point, I'm going to say that's an original.
GMM 400 7306.
Yeah.
There's no indication of a size on it for me. 365G4 to come out. That came out so much easier than I expected it to.
Yes. The expander there in the center is very shiny.
That's a pretty big piston.
What was the bore size on these?
These are 4125.
Even on the 348.
Yeah, the 409 is like 43 something.
So this is same bore as a small block 400
Yeah, I think so.
or a 402. Big block.
And that's a pretty unique
Yeah,
piston.
Unique design on top because this has to fill the top of that.
What we were saying is the oil ring, oil ring's worn down enough to where the expander is touching.
Yeah, expander is touching, so it's not allowing the rails to go out and do any good anymore. So now, is this, it's cast because it has the
Oh, it has
steel
steel strut in it.
Yeah. So the original pistons that are in here are cast. That is tight. That's that one that's messed up on top, isn't it?
Yeah. Right there.
So now what is that?
Your guess is as good as mine. It's just kind of, I mean, it's packed in there,
Yeah.
of course,
I think somebody poured something down this engine.
trying to loosen it up.
Yeah, it was probably stuck and they put something down it trying to loosen it up. Crank actually,
It's got a couple
Visually?
little scuffs, but it's not,
visually, it's pretty nice.
yeah.
Again, bearing looks nice. And fun fact, these use the same rod bearing as the newer big blocks. So that makes it easy to get rod bearings for these. Too bad the mains are not that way.
Yeah.
Actually, the skirt looks really nice. You can still see all the machining marks in it. I got myself a handful of that goo that's on the camshaft.
Yeah, oil ring completely.
These old ones used to have some pretty aggressive machining marks in the skirts, which was probably good because it held oil. Yep.
I'm gonna need
A
some
little
help.
bit of staining from water.
It's all the same cobwebs in it.
Really? How do bugs live inside all that oil?
I don't know. This is going to be the fun cylinder.
This
The
is
fun bang.
the
Fun.
moment you've all been waiting for. That one rod looks okay. Which is the bad hole?
This hole. My hole.
Now, does that have a aftermarket bearing or anything in it?
Same numbers on the bearings,
So-
I think. So they didn't even change the bearing?
Doesn't look that way. So how low bucket?
You got the
Low
bolt
buck.
nuts?
How low a low buck build was this? There you go. Okay, we haven't looked at the others, but look at this here. There's quite a bit of ring groove wear. See how the ring moves?
Yeah. Whoa!
Wow. Look at that. Well, there's why it was so washed from oil.
Yeah, because
It
there's
doesn't
no
have an oil
oil ring.
ring.
But that's amazing how stable that.
That it was still in there.
But it's dang near a full skirted
Yeah.
piston. I mean,
Now, look at the difference in the shape of the skirt from the factory.
to this.
Yeah. And it still broke. So now my question
Look
is...
at the difference in the shape of that skirt.
Yeah. My question, why was that piston replaced and why does it need replaced again? What's going on here that's breaking skirt on that piston?
You're making the assumption that it broke the
Well-
skirt the first time.
Yeah, we don't know why the first one was replaced, but it was replaced in that cylinder, and now it just got replaced, or it's going to need replaced again.
Look how thin the skirt. I was noticing that. Like
Yeah.
it's a pretty thin skirt, but man, what did cause that?
Has the crankshaft
But-
been? Hey.
Well, but I looked at the crank and it doesn't look like it has any.
Crankshaft's been hitting it.
Where? There's no marks on the crank. There's not a single mark on the crankshaft.
Right there, look, it's kind of shiny.
If it did, it was
Well-
barely.
It did because it left crankshaft and it wasn't hitting by much, but it was hitting.
It is just weird that you would have a reason to replace the
Yeah.
piston once.
We don't know the first one was broken, but that's the right terminology, is a reason to replace the piston once and now twice.
I just couldn't convince myself that it actually was because there's not.
Well, it may have rusted over a little bit in the time it's been sitting here.
Maybe it's a little shinier across
Even
here.
right here, maybe it wasn't touching as such, but it kept the carbon wiped off.
Huh. So the question is that cylinder gonna be cracked or anything?
Yeah.
So we decided on that piston. It may have been hitting the crank, or the other possibility is just that it was rocking in the cylinder after.
After thinking about that some more, I'm kind of thinking it was probably just hitting the crankshaft because of the skirt missing, and it was rocking in there that much. That was kind of tight.
Yeah, it was. That would have. Yeah, that was tight.
Look at the groove it's got worn in it. Okay, lay that somewhere and I'll take it off while you move on.
Yeah, that's a little
How many degrees is that?
couple. Huh.
That was really sloppy, wasn't it? Look how wide it is.
Yeah.
That is a really wide
Single
vein.
roller. Look at the wear on the
teeth.
teeth.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of wear there.
They're marked F, but I can't tell as though they're numbered.
Okay, so this.
No, they're numbered. Let's number them, but I'm pretty sure they're numbered. You won't be able to see it because you're blind.
Okay.
Right there.
Okay.
You see that?
I'm going to put my number right here on the cap itself. That smells all.
Oh my God.
That's original.
Anybody that has taken apart an engine like this knows the smell we're talking about as soon as you break the mains loose. What is that about?
I think that's would that be the sulfur in the oil?
I don't know, but
And
that
they-
stinks.
And they always have.
You got a can for these, or
Just
just
put them with that right there. They always have, heavy buildup of sludge on. A lot of times you pull them out and they're all gray with the lead.
okay?
I'm kind of amazed how nice bearings look.
Say it does not looks like a used bearing. Nothing remarkable about it.
No.
GM MA 7312 3000J something or other. So I think this crank is standard.
Yeah, I would say so.
That doesn't mean
China.
it measures. Shut up. That doesn't mean it'll measure nice when you.
Yeah, I don't think these have ever been apart.
Ready?
Yep. There it is. Yeah, these main bearings all look
Reasonable.
just pretty nice. You want to save that just on the chance we had to get it reground. At this point,
Couple galley plugs.
yeah,
and
get it off the stand. We got 2 galley plugs on the back anyway. Is there one in here?
maybe, and cam bearings.
Sure.
At this point, we need to get this block cleaned up and really look at number 8 cylinder, for example. Figure out what's going on with number 2, because
I'll see if this evening there after supper I'll come back out and see if I can get this in the oven.
okay, run the oven
Run
maybe.
the oven tonight because I need to run it for a couple other things there anyway. This block, once we got the freeze plugs out of it, although one was rusted through, it's not that rusty inside like some of these old engines we get. But my gosh, look at all the mouse stuff that was in there. They were having a party in there.
Which is interesting that it's not that rusty, because
Yeah.
usually the mouse piss just makes them
Yeah,
rust
I
like
don't
crazy.
know. Well, actually, that's all their stash they put in there. That's a whole bunch of seeds and stuff. So maybe they don't pee where they eat.
Pee where they eat. I don't know about that.
Glass beaded and then ran it through the jet washer. I did miss some galley plugs here when I did the tear down. It was all covered with grease, and this isn't a motor that we see all the time, so I didn't know where they would all even be till we got it clean. So I have to pull those out of there and do a little more cleaning, make sure the galleys are clean.
But overall, I mean, tearing this down, this looked very nice for, and relatively untouched for
Yeah.
a 66 6 or 7 year old
Yeah.
engine.
Yeah. I'm pretty impressed with what we found here.
Now, we had the one cylinder that had the weird gooey, rusty whatever on it, this one.
Yeah.
And can you grab it?
Yeah.
So all of that rust is also on the block.
Right.
So where are we? Down here?
Yeah, I got block upside down. So yeah,
So
I don't know if you can see it. Does that do you any good?
yeah. So you can see all of that rust in there still, all of that rust pitting. That cylinder more than likely will have to have a sleeve.
Yeah, most likely we'll end up putting a sleeve in that.
Which is okay. You know, that you talk to the customer a little bit and he kind of questioned the sleeve because there is a lot of, I think, misinformation and lack of knowledge on sleeves.
Yeah, I think it's a lack of knowledge of what a sleeve is all about. It's not a, I don't know the right terminology to use. It's not a properly installed, it's not a cobble up fix on the block. It's a legit sound fix for a bad cylinder.
So that cylinder will
and especially a cylinder that's just rusty. There's no structural issue with this cylinder at all.
Yeah. Now, that number 8 back here, where we had this piston, and we decided it kind of looked like they maybe ran that for quite a while after that piston broke.
I think this ran for quite a while after it broke. Which is
bizarre that they...
Yeah.
That had to make noise and...
Oh, that had been making terrible noise.
And smoke when it...
Well,
no oil ring.
That's part of what makes me think it ran so long, because we have all these other cylinders that are just completely covered with carbon, with the exception of a little bit of wash from the oil.
And that one's clean.
And this one is washed clean.
Aside from being a totally different piston.
Yeah.
Which is weird too. But
and it's been in there a long time too. Whatever the fix was when they put this one in, this engine has ran a long time since that happened.
But this cylinder probably needs a little bit more checking out, because there's the possibility that that piston could have gotten cocked sideways
in the cylinder and possibly could have cracked the cylinder wall.
And if it is cracked, again, we could probably sleeve it.
But I don't think that's the case.
I don't think so either.
And we do need to magnaflux the entire block real well and make sure there's no cracks. But cleaning it here and visual inspection looks like a very nice block.
Okay.
I'm real happy with what we're working with.
So with that said, you know, we were getting ready to tear down the heads, but we actually decided to reach out to the customer and just let them know that, hey, from the looks of it, we're probably going to be going forward with this. And he does have aluminum heads. He's got another intake for it to go with the aluminum heads. And we might even go the stroker direction on this engine for him. So it's not going to be a 348 tri-power anymore, but it'll still be cool.
It'll be a 348 plus.
Yeah, something like that. But with that said, we decided, you know, at this stage, maybe there's not any point tearing these heads completely down, but let's pop a couple valves out just for fun, just to
see what they look like.
One idea that I do have that...
Grab me a hammer.
You know, I may try to find a 348 block and see if he would let me have, or not make a financial trade of some
financial arrangement
that we could get these heads and do up the heads, get the intake, use as crankshaft, and maybe we build a 348 and put the tri-power intake back on it for fun. And when we're done, we'll sell that engine.
Yeah.
But then we could do a little comparison of a 348 compared to whatever cubic inch we end up at if we do a stroker kit.
Okay. So just for fun, let's talk about some of the similarities or dissimilarities between these heads. These have the same press-in rocker arm studs, just like a small block does. They use a square cut O-ring here on the valve stem in that second groove for valve stem seal, just like a small block. You know, and they had the shield up on top here, just like small block uses, although they are 3/8" diameter stems instead of 11/32 like a small block. So they have the same size stem as your newer big block engines. Wiggle test, not
too
bad for what it is. I mean, that exhaust, I can feel a little more in there than the intake. That valve is dark, but for the most part, it is sealing. That exhaust valve was still, I mean, I've rubbed some carbon across there. It was still sealing. Intake valve, rusty here from sitting. Quite worn. A lot of wear on the face there, but it was sealing all the way around, so that was making, you know, holding compression yet. You know, really the only new parts in that we found, I think the rings had been changed and that one piston.
Do you think they changed all the rings?
I think they changed all the rings.
I didn't pay too close attention to the
well, let's look at those again. Yes, those are, I would assume those are sealed power rings.
Okay, so maybe they did a re-ring.
They did a re-ring.
Whenever they replaced the oddball piston, they did a re-ring, and then the oddball piston broke.
But they put all the original bearings back in.
Yeah.
So they were...
It was kind of a...
It was very much a budget rebuild, if that's what it really was. I'm going to say that's the original timing gear. You probably can't see it there, but it says GM there and a GM casting number right on that timing gear. I'll bet timing gear and or timing sprockets and chain, I bet have never ever been changed.
So a relatively untouched engine.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense because when the 409s came out, the 348s were the less desirable.
Yeah.
Even still, it's still less desirable than a 409 would be. So the 348s all got pulled out to swap in a 409, and they either went to the junkyard or they sat out back in the shed for...
It's just like in our shop here, back when 351M and 400 Fords were popular, every time somebody brought a 351M in, they wanted to change the crank and turn it into a 400 before it left the shop.
Yeah.
So we ended up with a mountain of 351M cranks, and to this day you can find 351M cranks, but the 400s are all gone.
And 390s?
Yeah. They turned every 360 into a 390.
So
yeah,
it's funny, I don't know, just the way things come about. One thing I was looking, you know, when we were first talking about the heads, sounds like the first design that was only used in 1958 maybe did not have a cooling. This was just solid right here behind the spark plug.
The spark plug
and
on this side of it.
I suppose maybe that area turned into a hot spot.
Yeah, it's from what I read on it, sounded like they figured out right away that spark plug needed more cooling. Something they hadn't had to do before, but with the extra cubic inch and the design of the combustion chamber and higher horse engines, they found out they had to have spark plug cooling.
So they came in and added, I assume that passage goes
somehow
fully around that spark plug.
They put cast iron worms in there and they ate around there.
Yeah.
Since this is not going to get used and might be swap meet material someday, I think it'll be worth more if we leave it untouched. So we're not going, you know, we're sorry that we're not going to show you that, but we're not going to pull the rivets at this time.
Yeah.
That might happen in the future.
If I do stumble upon another block and build one, maybe the idea there would be like to use all these parts.
Heads and manifold.
And again, that's contingent on the customer being
willing to make a deal with us.
To wheel and deal or whatever. But on this one, I guess we need to do a little bit further checkout of the block, get it bored, get that sleeve in there and get it honed, deck the block.
Check the mains.
Check the mains. I guess stay tuned. You know, either way, I think it'll be, even if we decide not to do a stroker and still go with the aluminum heads and stuff.
This could be a fun engine either way we go with it.
And it'll be even more fun if we do two at a time.
Yeah.
But that might be a dumb idea. Sometimes I get ideas that sound good for a little bit and turn out not so good. And that's not a crack.
That's
Those
not
just
a
have
crack?
really weird casting lines.
There's a lot of weird casting lines on this.
Every time I look, I'm like, this thing's cracked, and it's not. It's just the casting lines. Or it's not from a visual inspection,
Yeah.
but we still have to magnaflux it. So stay tuned. When we're done, does it make more than the 280 that I think this thing was rated at
Okay.
from the factory?
Will it stay together?
Might make a whole lot less. I don't know.
Might make a mess, is that what you said?
Yeah. So, like the video, drop a comment, tell us what you think. I think we've asked for their opinion on a few things as we go here, and go buy a t-shirt.
Yeah. Are there going to be any new t-shirts?
There might be a new t-shirt. If it gets done, I'll record and put it
Okay.
in. So,
All right.
alrighty.
See you later.